Chapter 966. On stage for the first time. Owing to excellent Era's leadership, why did Yi Chu change his name to Yi Shu? Although this question wasn't asked, it already wasn't the main point of the interview. During the whole interview, she couldn't help but wish that she would hear simple answers like, excellent Era is a piece of sh*t. This senior is going to destroy it. Except, Chen Guo also knew that everything Yi Shu said was true. Revenge? In reality, this was just something Chen Guo thought of every day. Yi Shu had never revealed such thoughts. He only wanted to defeat excellent Era because the two sides had encountered one another in the Challenger League, and only one could survive in the end. It was truly that simple. It was a pity that saying this truth in an interview sounded like empty and polite words anyone would say in this situation. When the Friday news report came out, Chen Guo immediately went online to search. Sure enough, people were mocking Yi Shu's hypocrisy and false politeness. However, Chen Guo had learned her lesson from last time. This time, she didn't dare to fight with those guys again. Returning to the team, she also didn't dare tell them the news, afraid that it would affect everyone's mood for their match that evening. She could only smother her anger and endure. 8 o'clock, the second round of the offline portion of the Challenger League began. Team Happy's opponent was Team 10 Steps 1 Kill. Through the first round of the competition, they had gathered some information about 10 Steps 1 Kill. Before the match, Yi Shu had created a few targeted plans. A normal player team didn't have the qualifications and balance of a professional team. The strength of the players within these teams often varied greatly. 10 Steps 1 Kill had a total of 7 players in order to avoid forcing a healer to fight during the individual part of the match. However, their 7th member served more as a placeholder. With his skill level, which was close to that of a regular player, he would have trouble beating even Chen Guo. In addition, among the remaining 3 players, there were 3 that were clearly at a level far above the others. In the past, the tactics employed by 10 Steps 1 Kill relied heavily on these 3 winning in the group arena, earning them 2 points. During the team competition, these 3 would also lead, usually being able to win and get the 5 points. As for the individual competition, they would let the other 3 non-healers fight. If one of them managed to earn a point, well, a point was still a point. From the previous round, it was obvious that this kind of arrangement had already become habit for them. During the individual competition, the 3 weakest members didn't earn a single point between them. This kind of opening would usually mean they had very low morale. However, because the players in 10 Steps 1 Kill were all very used to this kind of situation, they weren't affected one bit during the group arena, having 3 experts who could steadily take 2 points. Only, during the later team competition, Team Trader displayed a much more harmonious team strength and coordination. 10 Steps 1 Kill finally lost a team competition, only obtaining 2 points against the other's team's 8 points in round 1. The group placements were determined through total accumulated points. Every point could potentially affect a team's final standing, and so every point should be fiercely fought for. Team 10 Steps 1 Kill, using their present arrangement, was left in a helpless situation. On Happy's side, if speaking of individual strength, there were also large disparities. However, at least every member was above the level of a normal player. Outside of Chen Guo, no one was merely a placeholder. Thus, they didn't have to use this kind of sacrificial strategy ***. They would vigorously strive for every point they could. However, outside of fighting for points, Yi Shu also hoped to let every player, especially the newcomers, experience the atmosphere of an official match. Therefore, in the space for the final individual round, Yi Shu wrote in Luoji's name. By this point, Luoji had played Glory for more than a year already. Having trained under the guidance of Yi Shu, he had also greatly improved his skill. At his current level, beating Chen Guo wouldn't be a problem. This made Chen Guo feel both gratified yet depressed. After all, she was also a veteran player of Glory. In the end, she had still helplessly watched as Tang Ru, Steamed Bun, Luoji. One by one, all these new players that had started from scratch quickly leave her behind in a cloud of dust. Chen Guo couldn't just not accept this. Happy's various training methods, she had obviously tried them all herself. While she had indeed gotten better, she was still far behind these new players, who had improved like lightning. Tang Ru and Steamed Bun were both extremely gifted from the start. With their hand speed alone, both had already been at a higher level than Chen Guo, so she didn't feel too strongly about them. However, Luo Ji had truly started from nothing, steadily improving until Chen Guo was far behind him. Throughout this entire process, every minute, every second, Chen Guo had vividly felt it all. She really was a bit envious of these guys' youth, of them having so much room to improve, whereas she was entirely lacking. This, she now knew well after receiving so much high-level training. She knew exactly what her limits were. It was like that whack-a-mole game Yi Shu had given her. At a certain level, no matter how hard she tried, she wouldn't be able to pass. Therefore, after reaching the offline tournament, Chen Guo never again made a fuss about going on stage to play around. She knew that her days as a player had already passed. Here was the stage, and it belonged to the ones who truly had the ability to stand atop it. The individual competition would be fought by Wei Chen, Luo Ji, and Tang Ru. The group arena consisted of Steamed Bun, Chao Yifan, and Yi Shu himself. In the team competition, Tang Ru, Luo Ji, Chao Yifan, Yi Shu, and Wen Yi would fight, with Wei Chen as the substitute. Young people really had so many opportunities. Except one guy. Although Mo Fan had come with them, he still maintained a completely indifferent attitude. As a result, Yi Shu continued with his old method of ignoring the guy. During the match that night, when their opponent's first player went on stage, Yi Shu was dumbstruck. Team 10 Steps 1 Kill, which had always given up the individual rounds in the past, had actually sent out one of their 3 experts this time. What? They changed up their strategy? Yi Shu scratched his head. The player from Team 10 Steps 1 Kill appeared very confident in this tactical move, taking sure and measured steps onto the stage. Seeing that Happy had sent out a raggedly old coot, one who had only tossed his cigarette after being berated by the referee, he silently laughed harder. Wei Chen, this name really did sound ancient. Although the online newspapers had given him an introduction once before, they had only mentioned him once. There hadn't been any buzz at all. After all, there were very few people who would watch the Challenger League that closely. Soon afterwards, both sides took a seat and loaded their characters from their account cards. The player from 10 Steps 1 Kill took a look at this Windward Formations equipment. Silver letters, no description available. Silver letters, no description available. Silver letters, no description available. The player from 10 Steps 1 Kill moved his mouse quickly, seeing that there was indeed only a silver name for each piece of equipment. Silver equipment. 8. The player suddenly felt numb. He really wanted to kneel. 8 pieces of silver equipment, just what level was this character at? At the same time, the stadium was in an uproar. By watching from this player's viewpoint, everyone was able to see that Windward Formation actually had 8 pieces of silver equipment. The commotion didn't just come from the spectators. The competitors were in uproar as well, including those from Excellent Era. A character with 8 pieces of silver equipment wouldn't be considered weak, even in the alliance. The first match quickly began. 10 Steps 1 Kill's player was already entertaining thoughts of directly kneeling in surrender. The battle came to an end without suspense, with Wei Chen seizing the point. Afterwards, as Wei Chen walked off the stage in an exceedingly lofty manner, he turned to the audience and waved, drawing lots of boos from the crowd. A majority of those who came to watch would be the fans of Excellent Era, and in the eyes of Excellent Era's fans, Happy could only be called demonic. How about it? Seeing me suddenly come out with 8 pieces of silver equipment, I bet the opponent directly wet his pants in fear, right? Returning to the player's preparation area, Wei Chen continued to brag. Amazing, Yi Shu said half-heartedly. At this moment, the second pair of fighters had already begun to walk on stage. 10 Steps 1 Kill had sent out another of their 3 great experts, against Happy's Luo Ji. Although this expert's level was a bit higher than Luo Ji's, he had clearly been affected by last round's conclusion. He even looked a bit panicked. On the other hand, Luo Ji's concealed light was only equipped with 2 pieces of silver equipment. This, along with a full set of orange equipment, including the orange tiger seal, gave him a stunning aura. The opponent was nearly trembling with fear. Yet, he quickly gained the upper hand, because in reality Luo Ji was even more nervous than he was. This kind of competition stage was completely new to Luo Ji. He was so nervous that his entire body was stiff, from his fingers to his facial expression. His mechanics were a mess. He made mistakes everywhere. His movements were choppy and not fluid at all. His opponent had practically no difficulty at all in annihilating him. Victory. This match had been won far too easily. The player from 10 Steps 1 Kill couldn't believe it, stepping off stage with a blank look on his face. Luo Ji also had an upset expression. Although, as a high IQ math major, he was well aware of why he had lost, it was unlikely that this one defeat would destroy his confidence. After all, Luo Ji had grown with Team Happy. When the team members compared notes with one another in the arena, even Chen Guo had been able to suppress him easily in the beginning. To think that Luo Ji would be affected by a single loss was completely unfair. Who knew how many times he had lost over the past year? How was it? It's quite different from normally fighting online, isn't it? Yi Shu smiled. It's truly very different, Luo Ji sighed regretfully. For a second there, I even forgot where I was. It's good that you're already starting to get used to it. Yi Shu didn't say more. He let Luo Ji go on stage in order to help him adapt to this kind of atmosphere. Losing points because of this was to be expected. After Luo Ji, Tang Ru was up. 10 Steps 1 Kill sent out their third expert. After a crushing defeat and a decisive victory, it was obvious that this player was at a complete loss. However, seeing Soft Mist's name, immediately his mentality was shaken. Soft Mist was currently Happy's most famous character after Lord Grimm. Pretty much everyone knew that this person was a very powerful expert. The match proved this point. In the third round, although the fight wasn't entirely one-sided, Tang Ru still won directly and efficiently, not giving her opponent even a shred of hope. And so, the other side's three great experts had only obtained 1 point in total. These last-minute tactics appeared as if they hadn't helped at all. Yet in the later group arena, there would be no suspense about who would come out to fight. 10 Steps 1 Kill only had 7 people total, so it would only be 2 weaklings and a placeholder. From Team Happy, Steamed Bun was the first to go up, completing a magnificent 1v3. As he came off stage, he flexed his arm, showing off his biceps. Did you see that? Study this point well. After coming down, Steamed Bun actually had an excuse to lecture his little brother, Luo Ji. The team competition afterwards ended with even less suspense. With Yi Shu personally watching over it, a win was basically guaranteed, so it was more about hoping everyone could adapt to the competitive atmosphere. This match was also the debut of Wen Yi, who appeared completely unflustered and performed steadily. Even Luo Ji, who had been helpless during the individual match, returned to his normal self under the support of his team members. In the team competition, they managed to win another 5 points. From back near the beginning of the story when Tang Ru and Yi Shu fought for the first time. Chapter 967. Setback. Even when Team Happy concluded their match, they had no idea that the other match in their group had finished even faster. This round, Team Mysterious Fantasy had taken their turn to rest. The other matchup had been between Team Trader and Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion. Team Trader's strength wasn't bad at all. After beating 10 Steps 1 Kill 8-2 in the last round, they acted even more boldly this round, cleanly slaughtering Cloud Viewing Pavilion 10-0. Up until now, 2 rounds had been completed. Surprisingly, Team Trader took the lead in Group B with 18 points, well above the other teams. Both Happy and Mysterious Fantasy had amassed 9 points, and were tied for second. However, compared to Team Trader, these two teams had competed in one less match. As for 10 Steps 1 Kill and Cloud Viewing Pavilion, both these teams looked very pitiful. After 2 rounds, one of them had 3 points, and the other had 1. Their futures looked very dim. The other groups all finished at around the same time. In Group A, Team Jade Dynasty, the so-called king of the revival tournament, was proving that their strength really wasn't the same year after year. After 2 rounds, although they had taken the lead with 14 points, they didn't show any of the strength that a pro team should have. The future of Group A wasn't obvious at all. In the other half of the tournament, because Group C didn't have any pro players, they received the least attention. However, in reality, this group's matches were the most interesting to watch. Because all of the teams had a similar level of strength, the fights between them were all very intense. The rankings were very close, and even more chaotic than what could be seen in Group A. As for Group D, Excellent Era's overwhelming strength couldn't be measured through points alone. For them, getting 10 points was nothing. Their strength was better reflected in how much time they took to finish each round. For the past 2 rounds, they had concluded in 20 minutes or less. Thus, in the next issue of Esports Home, in the headline for the least suspenseful Challenger League in history, the writers reported the overpowering dominance exhibited by Excellent Era. As for the circumstances in the other groups, after the 2 journalists offhandedly mentioned the results, they silently lamented, "Do we really need to pay attention to this stuff?" These 2 had already attached themselves to Excellent Era's legs, sparing no efforts in trying to climb up. The article was filled with flattering statements. Cao Guangcheng, on the other hand, using the resources and connections he had amassed after years as Excellent Era's team reporter, he had been allowed to write a special column on the Challenger League to discuss Excellent Era. Cao Guangcheng's commentary was far more leisurely than the other 2. He certainly disdained those 2's method of yelling compliments until they were hoarse. With Excellent Era's strength and status, wasn't this kind of performance in the Challenger League expected? With you 2 yelling and making such a big fuss like this, people who didn't know better would think it was some kind of fresh news. Are you guys writing satire or slapping faces or what? The main focus of Cao Guangcheng's commentary wasn't Excellent Era's victories at all. After years of reporting about the Glory Pro scene, Cao Guangcheng had gained quite a bit of knowledge about Glory as well. In the special column, he focused on analyzing the matches in order to allow the readers to know that this was how Excellent Era had always been. Even when giving examples of Excellent Era's strength, there was no way he would use the teams in the Challenger League as comparison. Rather, he would directly use one of the powerhouse teams in the Pro Alliance as a reference. This season, Excellent Era was in fact one of the teams that had made major changes during the summer transfer window. It was unfortunate that they had sunk into the Challenger League, and as a result didn't have that kind of specialized reporting on their tactics. Only now, after they had reached the offline portion of the Challenger League, did they have specialized reporting. The new Excellent Era's tactics were only beginning to emerge before the eyes of the masses. Consequently, Cao Guangcheng's special column received positive reviews for 2 issues in a row. However, Cao Guangcheng himself didn't feel proud at all. During these 2 issues, he was far more concerned with the news regarding Yi Chu's name change to Yi Shu. Cao Guangcheng had always thought that, within the reporter circle, he was the one who was closest to Excellent Era, and thus the mysterious character that was Yi Chu. However, this time he discovered that, in these 2 recent reports, both had nothing to do with him at all. In the first report, Cao Guangcheng could easily see that Excellent Era was using this event to create pressure for Happy, through the mouths of the media. This kind of matter, Cao Guangcheng had long become accustomed to. The thing that made him depressed was the fact that this information had been put in the hands of those 2 idiots. Through what means had those 2 obtained this information? There weren't many people who could recognize Yi Chu. If Excellent Era had been the first to discover this information, why had they gone to some other reporter instead of him? However, in comparison to the first article, the second article, which had been Happy's response to this topic, had made Cao Guangcheng even more depressed. Yi Shu, who was also Yi Chu, had actually personally accepted an interview? However, in the past seasons, God Yi Chu hadn't been less talked about than he was now. When had he ever cooperated with the media like this? Why had he broken his own rule now? Furthermore, why did this have to help that kid Chang Xian? Cao Guangcheng could in fact be considered a pretty good senior, always giving Chang Xian plenty of opportunities in the past. Except that day, Chang Xian had locked him outside the door, making sole use of all the juicy information in the room. Afterwards, when Cao Guangcheng had asked about it, he had directly brushed it off and replied, nothing. Just afterwards, this guy had actually gone and got an interview with Yi Chu. This punk. Seeing this issue of Esports Home with Chang Xian's name as the writer, Cao Guangcheng could only grind his teeth. In this issue, Chang Xian had also provided commentary on Happy's first public match. Chang Xian's didn't have Cao Guangcheng's knowledge or his insider information about Glory, but how could Team Happy be so boring? A warlock with 8 pieces of silver equipment, a beautiful battle mage player, a former member of the championship team Tiny Herb, and the 2 other members who hadn't appeared on stage this round. One was the infamous Deception, the guy who had made countless players in the heavenly domain gnash their teeth in anger, and had also caused headaches for many teams. This guy, who ignored all the suffering he had caused, had unexpectedly joined Team Happy as well. As for the other member, he was even more well known. Sun Jeping. This former god, who was a senior to all three of Excellent Era's current All-Stars, had also surprisingly appeared on Team Happy's roster. Flipping through the information on the Challenger League, it was possible to confirm that Happy previously didn't have this member. However, when the offline tournament arrived, the team couldn't hide this person any longer, and suddenly a god appeared out of nowhere. Just how many experts was Happy hiding? Even Cao Guangcheng had no choice but to admit that, while the Challenger League was in session, Happy was an even more of an eye-catching topic than Excellent Era. Excellent Era's current popularity came mostly from their original fans, who strongly supported and paid close attention to the team. Happy, on the other hand, used their fresh appeal to steal the attention of the more neutral fans. The third round of the offline tournament was set to begin the next day. In Group B, Team Mysterious Fantasy would be fighting against Team 10 Steps 1 Kill, while Team Happy would face Team Traitor. Team Cloud Pavilion would sit this one out. During the matches against the non-professional teams 10 Steps 1 Kill and Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion, Team Traitor had collected 18 points, exhibiting the strength similar to that of a pro team. In reality, this team wasn't really strong enough to be compared to a pro team. Their miraculous performances had been entirely caused by their mentality. Group B had Mysterious Fantasy and Happy, and so it was publicly recognized as the Death Group. With these two teams locking in the spots at the playoffs, the other teams appeared as if they had all become cannon fodder, without any opportunities. After that day when the lots had been drawn, the three teams that had also drawn Group B had been in low moods, mourning as if they were attending a funeral. However, after this, Team Traitor had proactively adjusted their attitudes. Even in this death group, faced with unshakable opponents, they still weren't willing to give up. In the first two rounds, they had faced the other two cannon fodder teams. Team Traitor had displayed a far more energetic and proactive style than the other two teams. In comparison, Team 10 Steps 1 Kill had employed their usual defensive strategy, looking as if they hadn't used their brains. With Group B's circumstances, if they had made any attempt to think at all, the three should have done their best to completely crush the other two cannon fodder teams. Afterwards, facing Mysterious Fantasy and Happy, they could use a defensive strategy to accumulate as many points as possible. Only by observing the Tigers fight could they potentially gain an opportunity. A team like 10 Steps 1 Kill, which couldn't understand the current circumstances, would only thoroughly become cannon fodder until the end. In contrast, the energetic and active Team Traitor had already locked down the situation after 2 rounds. The next step would be to steal points from the two more powerful teams, and afterwards watch the two fight. Having such a good opportunity in front of them, Team Traitor's players were in an outstanding mood. In fighting against Team Happy, a few of their completely unknown members shone. They actually managed to suppress Happy 7 points to 3. The entire competition had many twists and turns that day. In the 8 matches that took place that day, this match was the last one that took place. However, none of the previous teams had left. All of them had been attracted to this fierce battle. The final team competition had went on for a full 30 minutes. When the result finally came out, Traitor's 6 participants went crazy, rushing off the stage in a group hug with their 7th member. Like 10 Steps 1 Kill, Traitor also had 7 players. However, their 7th player was definitely not a placeholder, also possessing quite a bit of strength. The final victory had caused the 7 to laugh happily as a group. What they had accomplished, gaining 7 points from Team Happy, made them absolutely ecstatic. The other competition in Group B had long since concluded, with Mysterious Fantasy winning 10-0 against 10 Steps 1 Kill. This gave them a small chance. After 3 rounds, Team Traitor had amassed 25 points. After 2 consecutive rounds at the top of the death group, their morale surged. Mysterious Fantasy had obtained 19 points, in line with what was expected from a professional team. On the other hand, Happy, which had previously been considered a powerful team as well, had only taken 12 points. This kind of result unexpectedly led to celebration among many in the crowd. Team Happy had never had a good reputation to begin with, especially in places where lots of Excellent Era fans gathered. They had been hoping for Happy's boat to capsize for so long, yet round after round in the online matches, their faces had been slapped. Now, in these extremely important offline matches, Happy was met with unexpected failure ***. This made them even happier than Excellent Era's dominating 10-point wins. The entire stadium was filled with sounds of heckling and jeering laughter. Happy walked off the stage with their heads hung low. Chen Guo, seeing Yishu next to her, felt extremely conflicted. For the team competition, Yishu had actually not arranged for himself to go on stage. Chen Guo thought this was very unusual. In the end, her premonitions were right, no matter how much she wished they weren't. Happy had lost the team round, throwing away not a small number of points. How would Yishu feel at this moment? Would he also regret not going on stage himself? Would he blame himself? Seeing everyone coming down, Chen Guo directly went to offer greetings, giving everyone encouragement. Everyone fought very well. Can you not talk nonsense? Yishu's voice came from behind. If they had played well, they wouldn't have lost. Chen Guo swiveled her head around, quite angry. At times like this, how could this guy continue being this straightforward? As she turned around, she saw that Yishu was completely ignoring the stadium's rules about no smoking. He lit a cigarette, giving it to Wei Chen, who had just come down. Not bad, eh? It's really fucking exhausting. Wei Chen took the offered cigarette and brought it to his mouth, collapsing sideways into one of the seats. Chapter 968. Problem. Wei Chen sat paralyzed at his seat. He stretched his neck and sucked in a deep breath of air. He took his cigarette and adeptly flicked cigarette ash off to the side. A puff of cigarette smoke rolled out from between his fingers. Wei Chen looked at his slightly trembling hands. He stared blankly for a bit before forcing out a smile, refusing to give in to old age really doesn't work. Calling yourself old at 31 years old sounded like a joke to most, but in the pro scene, this truly was considered a grandpa's age. Up until now, no one this old had ever appeared before in the pro scene. Look at that guy, Wei Chen pointed. Yishu followed his finger and saw the unwilling face on Steamed Bun, who had just come down from the stage. However, Steamed Bun wasn't the type of person to get angry. He was talking with Luo Ji about the round he just played in. He was a person acting like a brawler in real life. He gestured with his arms and legs like a lively dragon and animated tiger one. In contrast, even though he wasn't as exhausted as Wei Chen was, a half-hour team competition was truly very tiring. Right afterwards, he needed to listen to Steamed Bun's non-stop chatter. He could almost see stars spinning in the sky at this point. Tang Ru, Chao Yifan, and Wen Yi were the other three that had participating in the team competition. They sat down in their seats silently. Their weariness was also obvious. At the same time, none of them were happy with the results. Everyone was brooding over the outcome of the match. They didn't pay any heed to the boos from the crowd though. Yo, you're resting. A delighted voice floated over. Everyone turned their heads and saw Sun Shang excitedly walking over towards Happy. Sun Shang saw them look his way and immediately started clapping. A brilliant match. Not bad, not bad. But if it's just that, how are we going to meet each other in the finals? You're really making me worry, Sun Shang said. Chen Guo was furious. Just when she was about to shoo him away, Sun Jeping suddenly said, "Who are you?" Sun Shang was startled. He hadn't seen this person in Happy before, but he had seen the other two, who had pretended not recognize him, before. Sun Shang wouldn't fall for the same taunt twice. He sneered and asked back, "And who are you?" "Your grandfather," Sun Jeping replied calmly. F***CK. The others on Team Happy had been too tired and too lazy to mind Sun Shang, but when they heard this response, they suddenly felt spirited again and looked at Sun Jeping with all sorts of reverent gazes. This reply was too powerful and too unexpected. Sure enough, Sun Shang couldn't hold back his anger. He shouted furiously, "What nonsense are you saying? I'm not talking nonsense. Go back home and ask your father. Stop being such an annoying fly in front of me." Sun Jeping was as calm as ever. You, Sun Shang said you a bunch of times, but he couldn't think of anything else to say. Sun Jeping ignored him and waved his hands. He called out to everyone, "Let's head back." "We're going already? I still want to sit for a while longer." "That was so tiring," Wei Chen said, but he had already stood up and was hobbling over to the player passageway. Who knew how he injured his leg? The others followed behind him. The crowd saw Happy leaving and immediately gave their loudest boos. Chen Guo was indignant, but Sun Jeping helped make her feel better. She waved her hands at the crowd as if those boos were cheers. When they returned to the hotel, they obviously weren't in a good mood. Slapping Sun Shang a few times wasn't enough to cover up their disappointment from losing. Chen Guo was hoping Yi Shu would say something, but Yi Shu remained silent. When everyone got back to the hotel, he told everyone to take care like it had been a normal day and went back to his room. Seeing the others go back to their room one by one, Chen Guo couldn't help but worry. She chased after Yi Shu. In the room, Wei Chen was lying flat on his bed like a corpse. Yi Shu had turned on his computer and was browsing internet with much interest. "You're feeling quite good." Chen Guo wasn't happy towards Yi Shu's reaction. She felt very dissatisfied. "Don't be so nervous." Yi Shu turned his head and smiled. "What do you mean?" Chen Guo asked. "It's very normal for new players to be unstable. After all, our opponents can't be beaten with just a few clicks anymore," Yi Shu said. "Then shouldn't you at least say something to them?" Chen Guo said. "Say what? Tell them that losing is very normal? Don't be discouraged and work harder? You tell me, do you think anyone on our team needs to hear those kinds of words?" Yi Shu said. Chen Guo stared blankly. She felt like Yi Shu should be consoling them and encouraging them, but when she heard Yi Shu speak, she had second thoughts. Happy. Tang Ru. Losing only made her more spirited. Did she need encouragement? Chao Yifan. He had previous experience as a pro player, but he was an invisible person that had never gone on stage. He had experienced these kinds of difficult setbacks before. How could a loss be anything in his eyes? Luo Ji? He had been bullied the most in Team Happy. He knew he was weak. Losing was something he could be considered skilled at. And Wen Yi? He was extremely rational and calm. The feeling of losing was just a light appetizer for him. As for Steamed Bun, right after losing, he started reviewing the match exuberantly with Luo Ji. How could that be called being struck a blow? As for Wei Chen, he had already started snoring. He was sleeping very soundly. He had probably already forgotten about all the booze from losing. Chen Guo stared blankly. She realized that Yi Shu was right. Console them? Encourage them? No one on Team Happy needed that because all of them had their own ways of coping. Losing right now is actually a good thing. Everything had been going very smoothly for us the entire time. Even when we met Team Everlasting, we beat them in an overwhelming victory. That sounds great, but it will actually hide a lot of problems. You're not thinking our team is already perfect and without flaws, right? Yi Shu said. Of course not, Chen Guo said. That's why discovering these problems early makes it easier for us to resolve them. It's much better than suddenly finding these issues when we encounter a truly formidable opponent, Yi Shu said. Then what's the current problem? Chen Guo asked. From this match, the problem isn't anything new. It's just that new players aren't consistent, Yi Shu said. His screen already had a recording of the match playing. I won't talk too much about Steamed Bun. He sometimes goes off the rails. Sometimes, that will make things difficult for the opponent, but sometimes, it also makes it difficult for us. Just like when he got lost against Team Everlasting. This problem happened once, and it'll keep happening. This comes from his personality and it won't be easy to fix. In terms of the team, we can only increase our margin of error in our strategies. In terms of the individual, experience would be the best way to resolve this problem. The more experience he has towards the same situation, the more options he'll have. Probability-wise, the chances of him going off the rails will be lower. The other thing we can do is pray. Pray that when he goes off the rails, the ones that'll be injured will be the opponents and not us. Yi Shu said. His screen was already playing Steamed Bun's match. In this 3v7 match, Steamed Bun had lost a point in this individual competition. The reason was because of external circumstances. As for the others, their weaknesses are more obvious in the team competition. Little Tang is tenacious and eager to win. The harder the adversity, the better she performs. For a player in the group arena, she couldn't be more suitable, but in a team competition, her explosiveness will sometimes make the team fall apart. This is particularly obvious in this match. Speaking of which, Little Tang really should look at two players to use as references, Yi Shu said. Which two? Sun Shang. That fool? Chen Guo despised him. Sun Shang is a reference for what not to do, especially in Excellent Era's matches last season. There were many cases where his individual prowess made the team fall apart. Little Tang should take a look. They're the same class too. She can think about what she can do in those situations to truly become a turning point in a match, Yi Shu said. Haha, I know, Chen Guo said happily. Then what about the other one? Zhou Zikai, of course. He's also an explosive player, but he can use his explosiveness to lead the team to victory. In terms of actual individual skill, Sun Shang is no worse than Zhou Zikai, but in terms of his accomplishments in tactics and his ability to read the flow of the match, Zhou Zikai is n times better than Sun Shang. Little Tang also needs to improve in this area, Yi Shu said. Oh, what about the others? Chen Guo asked. Yi Fan is the most stable out of all the young ones, but even though he has prior experience as a pro player, he doesn't actually have any official match experience, even more so after he switched over to the Phantom Demon class. In a chaotic situation, his thinking isn't clear enough. This hesitation has to do with his mentality. Another part of it is because a pro player, who came from learning by the books, can't help but match his style with the standard methods. He needs to find his own path as a Phantom Demon. He's studied other pro players more than enough now. Yi Shu said. Oh. As for Luo Ji, he's still rather weak. When the others go all out, he can't keep up. That can't be forced. We can only wait for him to continue improving. He still has a lot of room to do so. As for Wen Yi, his foundation is very good. He improved immensely during that period of specialized training. During these 2 months, he's accumulated a lot of high-level experience. His problem is the same as when he first came. His reactions are somewhat slow. However, he's very smart. He's trying to use more precise control of the pace to reduce the impact of this flaw. Yi Shu said. But this is a match and not a boss. If it's just controlling the pace, that won't work in many sudden situations, no, Chen Guo said. He's also found a solution to this problem, Yi Shu smiled. What is it? Prediction. He'll try to predict what will happen and respond to that. Relax. As he accumulates experience, he'll definitely become an even more outstanding cleric, Yi Shu said. Okay. As for Old Wei, Yi Shu turned his head to look at the sleeping corpse. Wei Chen, age is his problem. He can only rely on his willpower to overcome it. Chapter 969. Mysterious Fantasies Coach. The age problem. Chen Guo could understand this problem the easiest because she also dealt with this problem. When she was just playing around for fun, age wouldn't really affect anything, but once she started delving deeper into the game, this problem instantly stood out. If you've discovered so many problems, shouldn't you talk to them about it? Chen Guo said. Of course I will. Aren't I currently organizing everything right now? Yi Shu said. Chen Guo looked. It turned out that Yi Shu was taking clips from today's match. Then, he would talk about these problems with everyone tomorrow. Now, she could finally feel at ease. Is there anything I can do to help? Chen Guo asked. Yi Shu felt around his pockets. He nodded his head and looked at Chen Guo eagerly. Yeah, help buy me a pack of cigarettes. Black lines went down Chen Guo's head. She turned around and left. She originally wanted to directly go back to her room, but before she closed the door, she saw Yi Shu working in front of the computer. Her heart softened. In the end, she couldn't steal her heart and ran to buy Yi Shu a pack of cigarettes. When she returned, she gently placed it beside his hands and then quietly left. When she returned to the room, Tang Ru still hadn't gone to bed yet. She was also in front of her computer. Chen Guo walked closer to take a look. Tang Ru was browsing through Battle Mage-related material such as videos. Chen Guo smiled. Yi Shu was right. Their Team Happy members didn't need consolation or encouragement. Everyone was actively working to learn from their problems. Don't sleep too late. Go to bed early. Chen Guo was originally going to chat a bit with Tang Ru, but seeing how she was focused on studying battle mages, she softly said a few words and didn't bother her anymore. How'd you guys sleep yesterday? Yi Shu smiled as he asked everyone. Everyone looked at each other. For a moment, no one said anything. We've been strolling through the Challenger League with ease the entire time. We only considered Excellent Era as our final opponents and overlooked our other opponents. In the last match, we paid the price for that with this loss. Our current situation in Group B is grim. We must do our best and win points in our following 2 matches. We can't be even the slightest bit careless, Yi Shu said. Understood, everyone nodded their heads. The atmosphere was unexpectedly solemn. It was truly a bit different from the usual atmosphere at Happy. Then let's first review our previous match, Yi Shu said. It was just like what Yi Shu said. Winning concealed a lot of their problems. Losses exposed their problems. When they dominated their first match, Yi Shu didn't really review the match much, but this time, the match review took up the entire morning. The team worked as a whole. Every individual's problem was the team's problem. As teammates, everyone needed to understand each other's characteristics. This included strengths and weaknesses. Only by completely understanding one another could they coordinate well with each other. As a result, Yi Shu directly took out every individual's problem and discussed it with the entire team. An individual's efforts and the team's help would make solving the problem half the work with twice the results. In the morning, the team analyzed the problems that happened during yesterday's match. In the afternoon, they underwent the usual training. The next day, Yi Shu had already put together information on their next opponents, and they began making preparations. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The fourth round would begin on Friday night. Group B: Team Happy vs Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion, Team Mysterious Fantasy vs Team Traitor, Team 10 Steps 1 Kill vs No Team. Team 10 Steps 1 Kill only had 3 points and had already been eliminated early. Today, they didn't even come to the stadium to watch the other teams fight. As for Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion, they had one last hope. This one last hope was originally no different from disappointment, but after seeing Team Traitor capsize Team Happy, Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion's spirits were high. They were ready to put their all into this fight. How could Team Happy give their opponents any chance? Like breaking a dead branch from a tree, they crushed Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion. After just half an hour, Team Happy ended today's match. But in this round, Team Happy still lost a point. In this Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion, there was an assassin called Brilliant Move. He was mediocre in every aspect, but he had extremely good mastery over his life-risking strike. In the match versus Team Mysterious Fantasy, he had also been the one who won them a point. This Brilliant Move clearly wasn't good in the group arena, so in their confrontation versus Team Happy, he appeared in the individual competition. Yi Shu had pointed out this person during their preparation stage, but in the individual competition, Tang Ru was still cheesed by him. Tang Ru was incredibly depressed with the result. Tang Ru liked to fight face to face. She didn't like fighting dirty. She had trouble facing players like that. This match reflected another one of her problems. As a result, after this match, Team Happy had 21 points. Team Cloud Viewing Pavilion was eliminated early as well. On the other side, the match between Team Mysterious Fantasy and Team Traitor was still underway. Because Team Happy lost quite a few points against Team Traitor in the second round, their chances of making it out of groups went down. The outcome of this match was very important for Team Happy. After finishing up their match, they directly headed over to watch that match. Chen Guo was a spectator, so she could pay attention to both sides. Her expression was not looking good. The match between Team Mysterious Fantasy and Team Traitor had already entered the team competition. In the individual competition and group arena, the results were unexpected, 2-3. In the individual competition, Team Traitor actually took 3 points off of Team Mysterious Fantasy. If they beat Team Mysterious Fantasy in the team competition, they would have 2 upset victories under them, completely displaying their colors as a dark horse. With 8 points, they would be guaranteed to make it out of groups. In the final round with Team Happy versus Team Mysterious Fantasy, one of the teams would end up eliminated. But even if Team Mysterious Fantasy won against Team Traitor in the team competition, would that make it any easier for Team Happy? Yi Shu glanced at the player seats. A person caught his eye. He had a little notebook in his hands, and he also looked over at Happy. When he saw Yi Shu looking at him, he let out a smile. "Hey, great gunner," Yi Shu greeted. "Haha, I wouldn't dare to call myself that," the other side laughed. He turned his head back and continued to watch the match. This person wouldn't go on stage, but in reality, he was the true core of Team Mysterious Fantasy. Zhang Yiwei. He was a pro player who joined the Alliance in Season 2. That year, he was an extremely famous sharpshooter. However, nowadays, his glory had been masked by the younger generation. Nothing could be done about that. Zhang Yiwei's successor was too dazzling. Most of Zhang Yiwei's career had been with Team Samsara. His character was Cloudpiercer, which was now the Great Gunner. It was the character currently being used by the number 1 player in the Alliance, Zhou Zikai. Yi Shu called him Great Gunner, but Zhang Yiwei didn't dare to call himself that. He wasn't trying to be modest. When he was still playing on Cloudpiercer, it hadn't earned the title Great Gunner yet. Having such a successor was a blessing to the team, but for the senior, it was a rather sorrowful matter. Zhou Zikai's dominant performance with Cloudpiercer made him seem incompetent. After Zhou Zikai succeeded Zhang Yiwei, he sadly left Team Samsara and drifted for 2 seasons. In the end, he announced his retirement in Season 6. He had a beautiful turnaround though and became Team Mysterious Fantasy's coach. It could be said that he flipped a new chapter in the history of glory. Before him, pro teams didn't have a coaching position. That year, the new Team Mysterious Fantasy successfully remained in the Alliance. Others immediately took after them. The next year, the new Team Bright Green also hired a coach to help out their team. Zhang Yiwei was responsible for at least half of Team Mysterious Fantasy's achievements. As a result, Team Mysterious Fantasy's true core member wasn't on stage, but on the side as their coach. Even when the team was relegated last season, it looked like the owner of Team Mysterious Fantasy had confidence in Zhang Yiwei and had him stay on the team. It seems like Team Mysterious Fantasy's situation is quite good, Chen Guo asked Yishu curiously. In the team competition, Team Mysterious Fantasy held a stable lead. It didn't seem like the Dark Horse Team Trader wouldn't be able to stay dark. As long as they aren't careless, Team Mysterious Fantasy shouldn't lose to Team Trader, Yishu said. He glanced at Zhang Yiwei again. That's good, Chen Guo smiled. Good. What's good? Yishu asked. If Mysterious Fantasy wins, won't it make easier for us in the final round? Chen Guo said. Look more carefully at the points please, Yishu said. What? Chen Guo was startled. She started calculating the points according to the current situation. If the outcome turned out as expected and Team Mysterious Fantasy beat Team Trader, the final score would be 7-3. With that, after the 4th round, Team Trader would be completely done with their 4 matches. They would temporarily be in first place with 28 points. Team Mysterious Fantasy would be done with 3 out of 4 matches and would be second at 26 points. Team Happy would be done with 3 out of 4 matches and would be at third at 21 points. The other 2 teams didn't matter. In the final round, Team Trader would not have to play. Team Happy would be against Team Mysterious Fantasy. The other match didn't matter. The final point total made Chen Guo pale. Team Trader's 28 points wouldn't change after this round. The point total for Team Happy and Team Mysterious Fantasy would change though because of the final round. Team Happy was behind Team Mysterious Fantasy by 5 points and behind Team Trader by 7 points. In the final round, how many points did Team Happy need to win? 8 points, Yishu gave the answer. Only with 8 points would Team Happy have 29 points and make it out of the group stage. If they had 1 fewer point, Team Mysterious Fantasy would take first with 29 points. Team Happy and Team Trader would both have 28 points, but according to the tournament rules, if 2 teams had the same number of points, the match between the 2 tied teams would be looked at. Team Happy had lost to Team Trader 3-7, so Team Happy would be eliminated. In this match, Team Mysterious Fantasy's advantage became more and more obvious. They still had all 5 players, but 3 players on Team Trader had already been killed off. Zhang Wenyi let out a satisfied smile. He turned his head and looked at Team Happy again. Chapter 970. Desperate Times. The 4th round of the match had come an end. Team Mysterious Fantasy ended up defeating Team Trader in the team competition, winning this round 7-3. The 2 teams left the stage. Team Mysterious Fantasy's players seemed in high spirits, though the players of Team Trader didn't seem too down from their defeat either. As a grassroots team made up of normal players, Team Trader had the best performance among all the grassroots teams. Despite being seen as nothing but cannon fodder, they had managed to snatch 10 points in total from 2 strong teams. After the 4 matches, they were in the lead with 28 points in a group thought to be a lost cause. An average score of 7 per round was already very amazing. Group A's pro team J Dynasty had only managed to gain a total of 29 points after 4 rounds. Team Trader had already done the best they could and the audience applauded for them. After Team Trader's players accepted the liberal applause from the audience, they left the stadium with their heads held high. Many people had already begun to understand what the situation of Group B was like. Many people reveled in Happy's misfortune, jeering at them. Chen Guo couldn't spare any energy to be angry. The situation was very worrying. We should go too, Yi Shu called out, and Happy's members rose to leave as well. Yet they managed to bump into Team Mysterious Fantasy on the way out through the player passageway. Despite how this last battle would decide their respective fates, Team Mysterious Fantasy's players all seemed very relaxed, as if they had this in the bag already. The coach, Zhang Yue, looked over and saw 3 familiar faces from the past. However, these 3 were all top gods back then, and as for Zhang Yue, he might have been a core member of Team Samsara, but the Samsara back then wasn't the champion team it was now. As a core member, he couldn't compare to these top gods. Yet now, these big shots of the past had been tightly suppressed by him. This was a delightful feeling he had never had before. Zhang Yue hadn't ever though he'd be able to have such an experience in the Challenger League, and he looked to be the happiest out of all the Team Mysterious Fantasy players. Hey there, you guys. This guy even greeted them personally. Happy's members looked at him, silent. It's the last round. Keep working hard, everyone. Zhang Yue's words were directed at all of Happy's members, but his gaze was fixed on the 3 old gods. If you accidentally get eliminated by Trader, then you would be a disappointment to all this attention you've gained, a member of Team Mysterious Fantasy cut in from behind Zhang Yue. In the Challenger League, Happy was definitely the team that gained the most attention, if you didn't count Excellent Era. Meanwhile, Mysterious Fantasy hadn't gained any sort of attention ever since they had fallen to the Challenger League, making them a bit jealous. Now, seeing how this popular team was close to being swept miserably out of the competition, the team members of Mysterious Fantasy were no less delighted than their coach, even though it was directed at something different. We won't be eliminated, Yi Shu replied calmly. Haha, as expected of God Yi Chu, you're so confident. Have you calculated how many points you have to get in the last round yet? Zhang Yue asked, smiling nicely. Wei Chen then took a step forwards, staring directly at Zhang Yue. Brat, are you trying to play some dirty trick on us? Zhang Yue had been a core team member once, having been a part of the alliance for several years. Wei Chen's threatening demeanor didn't scare him at all, and he instead stared right back at Wei Chen. What on earth are you talking about, Captain Wei? He used Wei Chen's old title when referring to him. Do you think I can't tell? Wei Chen asked. So what if you can? Zhang Yue sneered. I'm only choosing the best result for Mysterious Fantasy. Not only for now, but in the future, too. Your strength is undeniably above that of Traders, so it'd be in my best interests if you were squeezed out of the competition. Hey, don't talk as if you've already won, Yi Shu suddenly said. It's the last round, keep working hard, everyone. Yi Shu returned what Zhang Yue had said before to Mysterious Fantasy verbatim. If you accidentally get eliminated by Trader, then you would be a disappointment to your ex-pro status. Hey, Zhang Yue laughed lightly after hearing this. A veteran player like that wasn't easy to enrage, as expected. Then let us see what happens. See you at the match. See you at the match. The 2 teams returned to the hotel. Though Happy hadn't at all been at a disadvantage in the clash just now, it was undebatable that the last round of the competition did. Returning to the hotel, none of them could calm down enough to rest, and soon enough they found themselves all gathering in the hotel internet cafe, one by one. Chen Guo saw their unity in this unspoken gathering, and was quietly excited. In the last round, we have to get 8 points and wipe the floor with Mysterious Fantasy. Chen Guo didn't bother to lead in, going straight for the kill and encouraging their morale. Yet then she heard Mo Fan, who was in the corner, say stoically without even raising his head, we won't be able to wipe out Mysterious Fantasy with just 8 points. What? Chen Guo paused in shock and the others all turned their head to look. They had never thought it would be Mo Fan to respond first. Yes, that's right. If it's just 8 points, Mysterious Fantasy would get 2 points and tie with Trader at 28 in total. However, they had won 7-3 in their match against Trader, so then it would be Trader that's eliminated, according to the rules, Yi Shu said before glancing over at Mo Fan. I wouldn't have thought you cared. Mo Fan didn't respond. Do you want to play this round? Yi Shu asked. I can. Mo Fan's answer wasn't, I do, but I can. Everyone stared at Mo Fan. They might not have interacted with him much, but they had lived together for quite some time and everyone was used to having this emotionless, silent guy in the training room. Mo Fan wasn't exactly their friend, but he was still a part of their team, that's what everyone thought. As for Mo Fan's skill and glory, everyone acknowledged it. Even though he might have not been able to integrate himself into the team at first, he had become part of the system after teamwork training in the new dungeons and training against the pro players. However, his personality meant that he would never really be a team player and Yi Shu wouldn't force him on that front. Being a team player had nothing to do with having a place in a team. So long as their tactics were reasonable and they were able to carry them out well, a non-team player could also be a very important part of a team. Tactics were also something that depended on people. Mature teams already had a tactical system they were used to, so finding players that suited their set of tactics was a big benefit for them. However, Happy was a new team so they didn't have their own set of tactics. This was why they needed to build up their own set of tactics according to the individuals where everyone could work efficiently. Hearing Mo Fan's response, Yi Shu smiled and nodded and then looked towards Luo Ji. In the last round, we need to make sure we win by as large of a lead as possible, so I'm afraid you won't be able to play for now. I understand, Luo Ji nodded, though he was still a little dejected. In these critical moments, he was unable to contribute to the team. It didn't feel good. Continue to work hard, Yi Shu said. The reality of Luo Ji's skill wasn't any sort of taboo for Happy, so Yi Shu could easily announce his arrangements at times like this without needing to make any excuses. Then, Yi Shu's gaze turned to Sun Jeping. Are you alright with taking part in this round? If I don't take part now, why am I even here? Sun Jeping replied. Yi Shu smiled. Sun Jeping wasn't Happy's future, so Yi Shu would usually give him less chances to take part, although those matches probably wouldn't be any trouble for Sun Jeping. However, if he didn't have Sun Jeping take part in these critical moments, then there would be no point to his presence. Are you alright with participating in both the individual and team competitions? Yi Shu asked. He wasn't very clear on Sun Jeping's injury. I'll have no problem dealing with these characters, Sun Jeping responded. Okay, then you can take on the first individual competition, Yi Shu said. Being the first to participate would allow him to have more time to rest before the team competition. Then the second person had better prepare earlier. The match will probably end quickly, Sun Jeping said. Yi Shu didn't say anything about his underestimating of their opponents. This was his pride and freedom. A veteran like him wouldn't make the rookie mistake of truly underestimating their opponents. Mo Fan, you'll be second, Yi Shu decided. Mo Fan nodded. As for the third, Yi Shu was a little hesitant. He had narrowed it down to two choices, Wei Chen and Wu Chen. Wei Chen had expended a lot of energy against Team Trader that day and had yet to fully recover. Yi Shu could tell he wasn't in top form. As for Wu Chen, he had good skills. His form had been preserved quite well after coming to Happy, but the character he was using, Dawn Rifle, didn't have very good equipment. Compared to the fortifications done to the other characters, Dawn Rifle wasn't a character that Happy put importance on. After all, Wu Chen didn't come to Happy to continue being a pro player. The third competition is very crucial. So it seems like this is something only I can shoulder. That was when Wei Chen shamelessly recommended himself. Yi Shu smiled and accepted this arrangement. Group Arena, Steamed Bun, Little Tang, me. Steamed Bun and Tang Ru nodded, seeming to have guessed that they would be in this arrangement. And lastly, the team competition, Yi Shu looked over the gathered. No healer. That's crazy, even Sun Jeping was shocked at the team competition arrangements. You sure this will work? Chen Guo was even more worried now. Yi Shu looked towards An Wen Yi. We'll be using as fast of a pace as possible in the team competition, so the current you might not be able to keep up. Okay, and Wen Yi nodded calmly. He could accept any arrangement, so long as there was logic behind it. We have 2 days. Let's practice this formation as much as possible, Yi Shu finally said.